The other day I made a video where I asked folks what would be the most helpful kind of content that I could put out right now. And I was thinking like contacting electeds, how to best use our limited resources and energy to have maximum impact in the defense of democracy. And I got tons of great feedback, and I'm going to start rolling that into my videos. But I got a couple of people who said, could you just make a little bit more garden content? Could you give us that reprieve? Make like one garden video a week, like I used to before January. I was like, that's a great idea. Let's do that. So I wanted to show you what my husband and I have been working on in the garden today. It is April 20th, by the way. Okay, so we're in my front yard, standing on my driveway. Here's my shed that we built a couple summers ago. You can see my daughter's working on a painting here. And if you pivot over this way, we have this part of our yard that used to all be driveway as well. We had it removed a number of years ago. Well, we removed it a number of years ago. It was backbreaking work, but we had a lot of street runoff. We don't have real storm drains in our neighborhood, and so we had a lot of street runoff that would come from the street, which is uphill from my house, run down my driveway, and my driveway would act like this chute and funnel it all straight to the foundation of the house. So instead, where there used to be driveway, we now have garden here by the street, and then we put in a greenhouse, which has been a project many years in the making, and we've been working on trying to finish it. The goal was to use all free scrounged stuff, and we just got busy with other things like caring for my mother when she was dying of cancer, caring for my father when he had dementia. And we're trying to be really intentional about finishing it this year. Again, using as much as possible entirely free stuff. This was a door on the side of the road, old windows. These were windows that used to be in the front of our house. Pallet wood, you can see here. So I'm going to flip the camera around and just show you a little bit of the progress. I think we're going to finish it here in the next couple weeks. Okay, it's starting to rain. I came up by the street, so you can see here, this is my driveway. And then this used to also all be driveway, right? And it would just be this giant chute for water to go straight to my foundation. We have our little free farm stand here. And now these are garden beds. They absorb all of that street runoff, and I don't have water in my basement. So going along here, this is the greenhouse, right? So the sun comes in this way into my yard. So we thought taller in the front and then would slope off here. And in the back, I'm going to put gutters along the back here. Let me come around and show you. I'm going to put a gutter along here, right here, and that's going to connect here. And the rain barrel will go right here. And that way I can water the plants that are inside the greenhouse. It will mostly be my eldest daughter, likes to keep a lot of tropicals, and I have a number of citrus plants in pots that currently go into the house in the winter. This is really ugly. It's full of all the construction supplies, so don't look in there. But we made this all out of cut up pieces of the driveway. So the foundation is cut up pieces of the driveway. And then here, until very recently, we just had our garbage cans and then this Korean lilac, which I've now moved, and our garbage cans now live behind this. So they're obscured from the street. And then this here, I'm going to tidy it all up, and we'll have a big rain barrel here and maybe some other potted plants here. And so you can see we've gotten all of the old windows in. There will be air intakes down below to bring the cooler air in. These sections here will end up being hinged so we can open to let the hot air out in the summer. I'm going to put an akebia vine up the front to shade, because greenhouses here tend to get very overheated in the summer. And then along the back, I'm going to have a clematis. I know they're pronounced clematis, but I prefer to say clematis. Just deal with it. So here's some plants that I just bought, including this beautiful clematis tie-dye that's going to go up and over the back of the greenhouse. So the color palette is blue and white to match the house. All of these old windows that are in, they will get a little bit of trim around each of them, and then they're all going to get painted white. The greenhouse itself already has 3 coats of exterior paint on it. I'm going to add this gutter here in the next few days, a downspout, and then I'm going to look on Craigslist for used rain barrels. It's really easy to find used rain barrels in Portland, often for next to nothing, if not free. Getting the gutter and rain barrel installed, we're going to continue. All the lower parts down here are going to be siding. They will be solid so that I can stack things against them. I didn't want glass down low where it could get kicked. And there will be enough solar gain from the higher windows that it's not necessary. So this around the bottom of the greenhouse all the way around. Down here, well, that's going to be a little air intake to bring in the cool air, but this will be solid, and similarly along the front and the other side and the back. Probably pallet wood. This is all old reused pallet wood from another project, and it's held up so well because I blowtorched all of it first and then I stained it. Let's go stand up here and get a look from the front real quick. So now we're standing up by the road. You can see again our free farm stand, not open yet for the year, grape arbor house. And you can see that the greenhouse is really pretty well obscured by my early Laxton plum here. So it's not like a big eyesore from the street. And yes, it does meet code in Portland. It has the sufficient setback. It is small enough and short enough that we didn't need a building permit for it. I try to always do everything by the book, right? My beehives have permits. I have a poultry permit for my ducks and chickens. I want to be a good neighbor and make sure that I'm working within code. Okay, it's really starting to rain, so I'll leave it there. Thank you again for the suggestions to make more gardening videos as kind of a reprieve from the other content. I really miss making that kind of stuff. Okay, here's one more quick look so far. Also, if folks want to know why I put this in the front yard, that's because this is where I have the best solar gain. This is the optimal position. I already had this ground that was really compacted from having had a driveway here, so it was good for putting a foundation on. It's also really close to the house, so in permaculture we have zones. Okay, hang on. So in permaculture we have zones where you want to put things that you need to visit frequently that have a high level of maintenance along a pathway or between someplace like your house and your car where you will go by several times a day. If you put your greenhouse way in the back of your property, your plants are going to get dry and scorched and not tended to. But if you put it near the house in a zone 1, a zone 2, you're going to visit it more often just naturally because it's along the way. And that means you have a higher rate of success. You are intentionally setting yourself up for success. But that's why this is so close to the house up here. Okay, thanks again. I will be back with more garden content in less than a week, I'm sure. Lots going on right now.